unless you become important. If you don't become important, you cannot really achieve that your aspired greatness. You are welcome once again. As you know, I am your serviceable servant, evangelist Inyuma Kalu. I want to talk on the topic, cost of becoming. Last time, that should be Saturday, or okay, that should be Sunday. I made a video on the top with the topic of greatness. With the topic of greatness, I can't remember exactly how I captioned it. Okay, greatness is built, not just wished. So this is a relative video to that video. As you know, I am a human capital developer. I am into the business of making people become valuable and marketable. Just I am valuable and marketable. So I don't teach people what does not work or things that are impossible. I teach people things that have been tried, tested, and approved. And I am a typical evidence of all of this. I am valuable, I am marketable. Being valuable and marketable means putting values into myself, then having something to offer to the people for which I can be paid. So it is not that people will just buy me as a person. No, that is not what it means. And the way I am now in life is the way I want to make people to be. So that makes me a human capital developer, and in righteousness, not on the wrong way, the right way. I am also an evangelical author as a result of the values I have put into myself. And as an author, I can educate people, build them to becoming authors, and they begin to have something to provide, educational stuff to provide to the people for which they will be paid, either by direct mentoring or by putting those educational content into videos and books. So these are the things that I do. I am also a custodian of Christianity. That means I am well grounded on Christian doctrines and in all aspects of Christian doctrines. In fact, I teach Christianity completely. So today I want to be precise. I want to be precise on becoming what you become as a person in the pursuit of your greatness. Also, in this precision, I will highlight on the few costs of becoming. Around 2012, somebody in this Valencia city of Valencia, where I base, came to me, and I never knew that this young man, just around my age mate, had been admiring me, even though by then I did not even have my resident permits in 2012. He already had a resident permit and over 5 years of resident permit, and he got his resident permit by marriage, of which, if he had decided to get his nationality by around that 2012, he would have gotten it. He came very earlier than me here, and he just got paper by marriage, other stuff, having children with his wife. So I never knew he was admiring me for long ago, because I know him very well. He knows me very well. We used to go to the field and play ball together, most especially on weekends, Saturdays or sometimes Sundays in the Saturday morning, Sunday evening. So, and we meet on the streets and some other gathering centers and in some union organization like Igbo Union, other union gatherings. So he's a person well known to me and he knows me very, very well. I never knew that for about 4 years he had known me. He had been admiring me until one day he came to me saying to me, how can he become like me? This guy I'm telling you so that you will know that it is an existing human being. By name he is Jude, and we call him Nkwatankwa. Some of the men who lived in Valencia around this time will know who I'm talking about. We call him Nkwatankwa. Jude by name, Mwaba. So I asked him, becoming like me as how? He said he had been watching me over a few years, that he had come to discover that I live a quiet life, and that there is an enjoyment in that my quiet life, because he has watched me that I don't have documents and I don't have regular work, yet I am not bothered. While most of the people who have all these things, who have their documents, who have regular work, who have money, are so worried, so anxious. But I live as if there is no problem with me. While definitely there are problems surrounding me as someone who lives in Europe, who is not on the street to make money from the speed lane, who is not documented yet, and who has no regular job. So he knows that there are problems, definitely. But the way I appear, the way I speak, the kind of confidence he has seen in me, communicate to him as if I have no problems. So he began to wonder, what is the secret? Can this really be possible? Has it been dreaming, or is it happening in the real life? He said I should speak to him. So I began to speak to him briefly, telling him that it is first of all as a matter of choice. It is a matter of choice of the kind of life I have decided to live. It is seconded by decision. It is seconded by decision. It is a decision I have made myself, which is different. The choice I have made for myself, which is also different from popular choices and popular decisions. I let him know that first of all, what makes me different from others is many follow popularity, the popular side. They follow the popular choice, they follow the popular decision, they follow the popular lifestyle. Can he pay the price of being different? I told him that becoming different in life starts from doing things differently. Could he pay the price? I asked him. And I told him that the question is not a question he will give me an instantaneous response. So I gave him time to go and reflect over the question for a number of days or even for months before he will respond over it. Up to today, he had not given me an answer to that question. So, why am I bringing this up? After saying this, I continued to watch him. He found it difficult. Even up to today, he is still finding it difficult to leave the popular side, to make his proper decision. Because the popular side creates avenue for him to, for people to womanize, for people to do live any kind of life they have chosen to live. At the same time, they we are on the streets, running the show, making quicker money. So most of them never really depended on the salary, because the salary we earn is not really sufficient, most especially for a family person. But those who are yet single know how to curtail their expenses. Not that the salary is always sufficient. So anybody who does not learn financial discipline and financial management can stay here in Europe, or most especially in Spain, and work for many years without achieving anything significant. And also, even at minimizing our cost of living to have some savings, there are people with the mindset of that is not the kind of money for which they have come to Europe. Because even as at that 2012, some people were already earning like 1,300, 1,400, 1,500, 1,200 at minimum, as at then. But to many people in the street, that is not the kind of money for which they come to Europe. So it is about trafficking the coca, hustling, at least aiming at making up to 5,000 at minimum, 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, depending on opportunities, minimum per month. That had been their targets. Some people were making it, sometimes it will backfire. They will go and suffer for it. But it's not the case that made me not to join them. My reason is that I have chosen my lifestyle. I had become born again Christian from home before I came to Europe, and I have my covenant with God. And Jesus has promised me that He is leading me somewhere with the principle of I should seek the kingdom of God first and the righteousness of God first, and all of that things that I have needed should be added unto me. So that becomes the reality between me and the Jude. And this case is the case with many others. Beside him, I came to realize that many other people were desiring to live the kind of quiet life that I live, and to enjoy their peace and tranquility. They desired it, but they were not able to pay the price, because they were not able to forfeit the popular activities, the popular ventures, the popular lifestyle, the popular recognitions. So they were not able to pay the price of being different in the positive way. However, economically, it was hitting hard on me. All of these people know it, and I tell them this is the price I pay, the major price I pay. I am not in the street, so I am not even moved by any amount of money they were making, even up to today. Some people became surprised when I tell them that I am not in the street, not because everybody in the street were smarter or are smarter than me, but it is because of what I have chosen for myself. At the same time, I told them, and I still tell them, there is no amount of money any street person will make that can move me to change my decision to go into the streets. So this is the decision I have made. So I don't let the money make the decision and make the decision and the choice, and also drive my lifestyle. So I decide what I do, and I know the cost. The cost is that I cannot make the kind of money they make. In fact, financially, I am nowhere to be compared to them. But in moral aspects of life, in tranquility, in knowledge, and wisdom of God, they cannot come near me. So within me, I was building treasures within me, while they were building their own treasures as in finance and other ways. But why were they worried? Most Christians also, we are worried, dreaming and desiring to be like them because of the kind of money they make. Also, many Christians fell out of their faith to go into the streets. Why many people in the street were desiring to be like me, they were not able to pay the price. Many Christians who had also confessed this faith, which I practice, also fell away because they could not continue to pay the price. Just as it is today, many Christians are still falling away from the faith because they do not want to continue to paying the price of becoming important. Also, I had someone, not just someone, I have seen different people coming to me desiring and demanding that I should begin to mentor them. I said, that's good. That is what I do. And this thing I'm telling you started from around 5 years ago, when it became serious with me and some people. When I would tell them what it will cost them to be mentored, not primarily financial, I would tell somebody that for the person to become my protege or mentee, the person must develop what is called reading culture. That is, them demanding me to become their mentor is them declaring that they want to be like me. They want me to make them become like me. Because when they see me teach, when they see me speak, when they see me display my knowledge in different ways, they become so startled. They become so excited. They will begin to admire what I have, and they will begin to desire to have it. So they began to come to me to demand that I should make them to become like me, by them knowing what I know, and by them possessing the kind of ability, the kind of boldness, the courage, and the eloquence I have in regarding to speaking, standing before the public, and the soundness of my knowledge, the inspiration I provide to the people, vision, all of these things put together. So after this interaction, from time to time with different people, I will tell them, okay, let us begin. In the process, I will first of all take an assignment I give to somebody. Say, go and begin to listen to this particular person. I will direct them, or I will give the person a book, because I have books and I have my means of buying my books. Maybe one book I already have. I'll tell this person, go and read this book. Read this book. When you finish this book, then call me. Let us engage in interactive section. Any question you want to ask from the book, I will be answering. Anything that you need clarity about from the content of the book, I will be clarifying you. And this book may be a book of around 240 pages or 300 pages at most. Maybe like 12 or 15 chapters. I will give the person that book. And I will just leave the person, not that I forget, I will just be watching the person. After 6 months, the same person will come to me again and ask me what is the next level regarding the mentorship we are into. I will ask the person, to what level have you reached to reading the book I gave to you? The person will say, hey, you know that this pen is tough. You know that there is no regular job. You know that everybody work. You leave house in the morning, you come back in the afternoon or late in the evening. Maybe, for example, you leave your house 5 o'clock in the morning, reaching to your workplace 6 o'clock, you start work, and before you come back in the evening, it will be around 4 o'clock. You do this, you go to the supermarket to buy something, you do that. The person will just be telling story. I'll ask the person again, where have you reached with that book? The person may say, I have just started reading chapter 1. That after 6 months, he has just started reading chapter 1. And this kind of book I'm talking about is a book that I work just like the same person work. Close work at the same time with that person. Do everything that the person gives excuse about. And on Sundays, I will also go earlier to church than many others. And come back late than many others. But I use my spare time to read the books. Even when I have not started writing, after coming back from work, every day I will dedicate not less than 3 hours to reading. So if I have been reading that book of around 240 pages with my spare time, that book will not cost me less than 2 weeks. It will not cost me more than 2 weeks to finish it. 2 weeks at most. But after 6 months, the person will just tell me he has just started from chapter 1. That is an unseriousness. But the person is asking me, what next? Which level? What next should we do about the mentorship? Why the person is not willing to take the first step? So the title of this message, remember, is Unless You Become Important. Cost of becoming important. Cost of becoming important. To become. Like this person, like many others, I have lots of people who desire to be like me, but they are not even ready to take the first step to becoming. Let me read some Bible passages. Cost of becoming is the title of the message. John chapter 3, verse 1 to 7. Amplified Classic. Now there was a certain man among the Pharisees named Nicodemus, a ruler, a leader, an authority among the Jews, who came to Jesus at night and said to him, Rabbi, we know and are certain that you have come from God as a teacher. For no one can do these signs, these wonder works, these miracles, and produce the proofs that you do, unless God is with him. Jesus answered him, I assure you most solemnly, I tell you, that unless a person is born again, anew from above, he cannot ever see, no, be acquainted with, and experience the kingdom of God. Nicodemus said to him, how can a man be born when he is old? Can he enter his mother's womb again and be born? Jesus answered, I assure you most solemnly, I tell you, unless a man is born of water and even the Spirit, he cannot ever enter the kingdom of God. 6. What is born of from the flesh is flesh, of the physical is physical, and what is born of the Spirit is spirit. Marvel not, do not be surprised, astonished at my telling you, you must all be born anew from above. We can see that among the Pharisees, those who were the religious leaders of the Judaism, only Nicodemus came to Jesus to inquire. And this is a move for mentorship. This is a move with desire. This is a move with the intention to get something beneficial because he has seen something very good in Jesus' teachings. Let me rephrase that. Okay, that verse 1 and 2. He said he knows certainly that nobody could do what Jesus was doing unless God was with the person and God has empowered the person. So they actually recognize the speciality of Jesus Christ. But their jealousy and their envy against him never allowed them to properly relate with him. Why Nicodemus, by night, so that others will not see him, he secretly came to Jesus to inquire, to interact with him, and to find a way to relate with him. Jesus declared the cost of becoming. I don't know what you want to become. I don't know what your aim is. In the process of achieving greatness, you must become something important. You must become somebody important. You must become something great. And yourself must become great to achieve greatness. Jesus said to him, unless he becomes born again, he cannot enter into the kingdom of God. Like Nicodemus, like every other person. Anyone who would desire to be a citizen of the kingdom of God must become born again. Being a citizen into the kingdom of God means becoming a great godly person. It means becoming something great. It means becoming born again. And this born again is not just being born by any other source, but being born from God again. This is renovation. You must be renovated as a person. Your character must be renovated. Character renovation, orientational renovation, spiritual renovation. Every aspect of you must be renovated. You must be detoxified. Many people are toxic with bad habits, with corrupt mindsets, with different kinds of negativity inside of them, envy, jealousy, backbiting, sowing of discord, dissension, different kinds of negative mindsets, different kinds of negative habits, different kinds of negative characters. All these things must be detoxified from anybody who must become genuine. Becoming a genuine person is a means of becoming great. And becoming a genuine person has something to contribute to becoming great in life. Now I am talking on the moral transformation, moral development, moral becoming. So this price must be paid. So I won't go into detail, because if I begin to go into detail, I will even delve into discipleship, denying yourself, carrying your cross, and the following the good master. The next reading, Proverbs chapter 12 verse 24. The hand of the diligent will rule, but the slothful will be put to forced labor. The hand of the diligent will rule, but the slothful will be put to labor. So, another dimension of becoming is skill development. Skill development. knowledge development. Apart from your good character, some people may have good character, but they don't have marketable knowledge. They don't have marketable skills. Or maybe they have marketable skill. Even a common laborer has a marketable skill. Anything anybody can do and be paid. So that thing the person can do is a value and is marketable. But on what category? On what level? Are you developing more on your skill? Are you a truck pusher? Are you satisfied remaining a truck pusher? Why don't you dream of becoming something else greater than that truck pusher, and you invest your spare time and the little money you make to learn that thing? Then becoming competent in the new thing you learn, then you move away from truck pushing and change your business. Why can't you do that? There are people who started with truck pushing and ended their life as truck pushers, when there is no reason for that, just because they settled at their own mediocrity. Are you a banker? Is that your destination? Will you just remain a bank manager even at that? Is that your destination? What do you do with your money? Where do you invest your money? Where do you send your money for assignment? Many bank managers do not have investment, to be honest with you. You can limit yourself by not improving on your skill, by not improving on your investment, by not improving in whatever. And you just decide, you make the decision, you relax, because you have something you do and the money is coming. What is it that you are doing? Or you are dreaming to become something, to become an investor, to have multiple streams of income. But the problem is that you are not willing to pay the price, the cost of becoming. What next do you want to become? From the encounter between Jesus Christ and the Nicodemus, we see that Nicodemus had that desire to becoming great, to inquire, to get something meaningful from Jesus, to improve his life and ministry, and his pursuit of greatness. But the Bible has no record anywhere that he actually becomes Jesus' disciple. Do you see where the problem lies? He has the good intention. He admired Jesus. He never envied Jesus, but he never properly learned from Jesus. Apart from this encounter, we never had him anymore continuing with Jesus. This is the problem, and I can relate it to those who had been desiring to be like me, and I am willing to educate them to be like me. Even if they will have the opportunity, let them become greater than me, so that they will be blessing me upon the blessing. God is still blessing me, but they are not willing. They are not willing. And that is my intention for you listening to me now. If you are willing, I will develop you to becoming like me. Or if you have the opportunity, become greater than me, so that you can be blessing me on top of the blessing God is already blessing me. It is my prayer for you. My prayer is that you will prosper and you become a blessing to others, become a blessing to yourself. You also become a blessing to me. That is my prayer for you. And I can help you achieve it if you are really serious. Lastly, the last reading, Proverbs 22 verse 29. Do you see a man diligent and skillful in his business? When you are diligent, when you are industrious, when you develop that reading culture, which I am talking about. When you develop learning culture means learning from anything that happen in life, learning every day, learning from everything that happen around you. Anything that happen around you in life, anywhere. Is it in your workplace? Is it in your house? Is it on the street, in the church, anywhere in the world? Anywhere, anything you see happening, there is a lesson, or there are some lessons to learn from it. But the problem is that the majority of human beings don't pay attention to details. They don't learn from things happening around them. And what you learn from things happening around you contribute to building you, contribute to shaping your direction, contribute to making you be discovering the errors from the rightness. Then it also guides you to quickly be discerning, to be identifying when things are going wrong, how to dodge them, and how to engage with the right thing. One of the things that has helped me to come to this extent, according to my little capacity in life, is not always about how much money that I make, but always about how much troubles I can dodge. Almost how much trouble I can dodge. Not always about how much money I can make. Because if you are not careful in life, you may be making a huge amount of money, but troubles you never invited can mistakenly be consuming your money, and even be keeping you into debt, and it can cause you heartily unrest. So all those things matter in life. A man diligent in his skillful, a man diligent and skillful in his business, he said he will stand before kings. He will not stand before obscure men. Joseph, the son of Jacob, was diligent in his skill and business. Finally, he stood before Pharaoh and other great ministers of Egypt. He became prime minister in Egypt. Daniel was skillful in his business, and finally, he stood before King Nebuchadnezzar. Esther, Mordecai, they were skillful in their own businesses, and they had opportunity and access to King Ahasuerus. Many people in the Bible and in the physical life of today, in the temporary life, then they are very, very skillful. In essence, it is saying about when you become important, even when you do not, when you do not go to important people will begin to seek you. And what can make you important is you becoming important. What can make you become important? It is you being diligent and skillful. Develop your skills. Put your labor. Put your time. Be committed to doing the right thing. I'm talking about precision. I use becoming born again. Now, collectively, universally, pursuing greatness is universal, but there are many things that are involved into getting that greatness. Then the precision here is find something important. Just focus on one thing. Focus on one thing. Develop very, very well on that thing. Find something to become. It was in 2000, I started my intensive studies in 2010, early 2010. It was in 2012, I precise becoming an evangelical author. Not just by preaching. I preach, I teach, but now I am an author. All this thing put together because I prayed in 2010. God showed me in a dream, this is whom I will become, an evangelist. So God never told me I would become an evangelical author. But all these things came forth as a vision, adding to the revelation God had given to me. I said, okay, if this is what I can be, there is the possibility of me also becoming an evangelical author. And today I am an evangelical author. So I was precise to focus on one thing in the process of building myself to becoming. There were lots of distraction, different kinds of proposals from different people. Some people never see anything relevant in what I was doing. Some people see things relevant, and they were not able to pay the price that I paid. Some people were discouraging me. Some people were offering me something they believe should be better and will begin to pay quicker, far more quicker, and truly those things should be paying far more quicker. But that was not my precision. So if I tell you things that I have given up to pursue this precise goal, and today by the grace of God I have become an evangelical author. So I become skillful on it. And with the time, I will continue to develop on it. With time, I will continue to develop on it. Then, in conclusion, this is not my destination. From here, I will be pursuing other than aspects of greatness. I will also be pursuing multiple streams of income. Investment in righteousness, so not in sin, not in duplicity. You can do the same. If you don't know how to do it, consult me. My phone number is on my on the Facebook page. Also, if you want to truly become a born-again Christian, go to my YouTube channel, Evangelist Inyima Kalu. Then put the title, Who is a Born-Again Christian? The video will appear in my YouTube channel. This Facebook channel is just less than 2 months. It's just less than 2 months. But in that my YouTube channel, all of my teachings are complete. Over 300 videos are there. It is a very great treasure of excellent knowledge. So be subscribing, be recommending the channel to others. Also, my books are online. I have 5 books written, published. I have many other books, but there is no money now to publish them. So I am hustling on that. Unless otherwise, you want to tell me something about that, it will also be appreciated. But you want to become great in life, you don't know how, consult me. That is what I do. I am a human capital developer. I am an evangelical author, and I am a custodian of Christianity. I remain your serviceable servant, Evangelist Inyima Kalu. I will come your way very soon once again